Members of the jury, welcome back. Everyone may have a seat. Sorry for the slight delay this morning. I had to do some work with the attorneys outside your presence. Because of that, what I'm probably going to do is take an earlier lunch break for you guys. If that presents an issue for any of you guys, just let me know. I'm not going to go to 12:30 straight, I promise you guys. If I take an earlier lunch, if that presents a problem, slip a note to the bailiff. I'll certainly accommodate you guys. With that said, we're going to begin. The state rested their case in chief yesterday. You guys all have your correct notes? Okay, people are shaking their, okay, good. So the state rested their case yesterday. I'm going to move forward to the defense side. Mr. Davis, Ms. Michelle, you can call your first witness.
Defense would call Carol Clip.
Ms. Clip, good morning to you, man. Come over here to your right. Just watch your step as you come forward. Need a glass of water, let us know. Mr. Gray and the staff will certainly accommodate you.
I'm nervous, but I think I'll be fine, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, but no reason to be nervous. But I understand why. You can manipulate that microphone to help you project your voice. And I just asked if there's an objection made by one of the attorneys during your testimony, just pause, let me rule on the objection, and we'll go from there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. With that said, state you may inquire. You're ready.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, I'm right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please begin by introducing yourself to the jury, please?
My name is Carol Ann Clip, and I live here in Jacksonville, and I work for the health department half my life.
Thank you so much for giving us that. Are you related to anyone in this case, Ms. Clip?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Do you know anyone by the name of Johnathan Quiles?
No, ma'am, only through this instance now.
And did you hear that through the news?
Excuse me?
And did you hear his name through the news?
Yes.
Okay. Outside of hearing his name on the news, had you ever met him or spoken to him or know anything of him?
No, ma'am.
Do you know, maybe from the news as well, outside of what you may have heard on the news, did you know a young lady by the name of Ayanna Sawyer, IS for the record?
No, ma'am.
Did you know anyone that was related to her at all?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall a time in December of 2018 where you witnessed something noteworthy?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what you witnessed?
I was coming home from my mother's house in Tampa at Christmas time, and it was actually the late afternoon or evening of Christmas. And I came down off the 95 ramp to come down on Phillips Highway. Well, I had to stop at that light there. It just wasn't green and you could just go. So I was stopped behind several cars, and the light turned green, and as the light turned green, it went and merged onto Phillips Highway. And as I did, I noticed this young girl walking in front of the two hotels there. There's two hotels right side by side. And I noticed her, and I thought to myself, it's going to be dark soon. You know, no young person should be walking down, headed south on Phillips Highway when it's going to be dark shortly. And I was concerned. And then I got home, and I didn't think anything more of it.
All right. And you said that you were concerned. Is that something that you thought about later and wondered about what was going on with her?
Well, later on, I think it was several days I saw on the news. I was actually sitting in front of the TV, and I saw the news about the missing girl. And through their description and the picture I saw of her, that was her. In my heart and mind, that was her. And so I had to call. I had to call the police and say that I had seen her.
And did you do so?
I did so.
Did you do that right then and there?
I did that the very day I saw that on the news, yes.
When you called her, did you tell police what you've relayed to the jury just now?
Absolutely. And I probably even went further because it was more fresh in my mind.
And I was going to ask you some of those details. I know you told us where you saw her and you saw her walking. Do you remember what she was wearing?
I remember her hair. I remember a backpack. I remember, that's about all I remember. But I know that whatever it was, I told the police whether it was more or less was what I saw, which was more fresh in my mind 4 years ago.
Of course. And when you made that phone call, why did you call right then and there? Tell us your thought process.
Well, because I was concerned. And if you see, and I believe in that. And so, therefore, I did.
That when you saw that news, the picture and the description that you called then, how certain are you that the young lady was in fact that same young lady that you saw in the news that was missing, IS?
Well, if I was not certain in my heart, there would be no reason to.
Let me ask you a couple last questions. Did you want to come here today to testify?
It's kind of scary.
I was going to ask you that. Is that why you are testifying?
That's why I'm here.
And what you've told us is what you saw. No, as best your memory can recall, no additions, no subtractions.
No, that is true. This is what happened.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nothing further.
Yes, ma'am.
Besides the nervous part, huh?
I've never done this.
So, ma'am, I'm going to obviously talk to you about back in December 2018 and January 2019. This individual that you observed, it was on December 26, 2018, between 5 and 6 p.m. Is that correct?
It was the 25th. It was Christmas.
Do you recall telling the police that it was December the 26th, 2018?
No.
Okay. And do you recall...
Oh, you know what? It may have been because I spent Christmas at my mother's. Pardon me.
That's okay. Did that help refresh your recollection?
Yes, thank you.
No problem, ma'am. And you had told the police that it was between 5 and 6 p.m. Is that fair to say?
If that's what I told them, then that was the truth.
And it was getting dark, wasn't it, at this time?
It was going to be soon, and that's why I was concerned for that young person.
And you recall the fact that this individual had a backpack.
I do.
And I think the other thing that you remember is that this individual had hair extensions.
I do.
Okay. And you stated that then on January 1st, that would have been 5 days later, correct, that you saw a picture on the news?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
I knew it was several days. I don't know the date.
Do you recall what picture you saw on the news?
I do not.
And had you ever seen the individual by the name of Ayanna Sawyer before?
I don't believe so.
And
I was what, ma'am?
it's fair to say that you were driving at this time, correct?
I was driving. I was stopped. The light turned green, and I proceeded around to Phillips Highway.
Yes, ma'am. Is it fair to say that the total time that you saw this individual while you were moving was 5 seconds, correct?
About 5 to 7 seconds, yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ma'am, good to see you.